Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Real Estate Uncensored. This is the Marketing Roundtable. I have Mr. Gene Volpe. I have Mr. Nick Sakis. We are here crushing skulls, taking names, and inspiring people around the world to be the best marketer of you that you could possibly be, not just in 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, all the way through the rest of your lifetime in your business. We got some great ideas here. We're going to be covering 4 to 5 different marketing points. I think you guys should definitely stick around. If you guys are interested in building a personal brand, standing up from the crowd, your lucky little soul, just found the right show. Before I introduce my co-host, here's our countdown. All right.
Heyo.
Hey.
What?
Gene, what up, boys? We're coming up. We're in December. We're December 7th today of 2022. We're coming up near the end of the year. We're looking forward. We're not looking backwards. Backward is a small little mirror. Forward is a giant freaking windshield. We have a lot of opportunities coming up. We're going to talk about personal brands today. I want to introduce Mr. Gene Volpe. How are you, brother?
You know me, my man. Wednesdays, we're doing a little earlier than usual, but I'm in good shape, even though I haven't eaten yet today.
Oh,
lean and mean.
There's no lean inside these jeans right now. I got news for you there, buddy. But we're gonna get there. We'll get
Thanksgiving hangover or just end of the year hangover.
It's we're at the COVID 62 right now. That's what it feels like, anyway.
Oddly specific number, but we'll go with it.
It is very weird about how we did that. So Gene is feeling COVID 62. Nick Sakis, how are you, brother?
Good, man. I'm also on the comeback V2 is what I'm calling it. So
love that.
Yeah, comeback V2. It's going to be stronger than it was before. I don't know if I'm going to be going shirtless and or naked on the internet like I was doing before.
Why not?
When I was posting, but I don't know. It's going to be exciting. I got some cool things coming up.
Well, you know what? You are a handsome, sexy man. So whatever you do is going to be your prerogative.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I was actually walking yesterday. This has no correlation with you being naked or shirtless, by the way. Just want to make
thinking
that very
about
clear.
me. Yes, let's make that clear.
You know what? I was out walking with my girlfriend. We were taking our dog for a walk about kind of mid afternoon, like 1 o'clock. I had a 1:45 call, and I'm walking through this park. And this guy, a very nice gentleman. I was so impressed to meet him. He was so assertive, and I just really wanted to share this comment because all of us have influence in whatever we do in our lives, no matter what level it is: podcasting, networking, being a friend, a father, a mother, a partner, a daughter, a son, whatever it's going to be, right? But this individual, I'm going to leave his name out of it because he didn't give me permission to use his name. I was walking through the dog park or the Frisbee golf park, and he goes, "Excuse me, are you Greg McDaniel?" And I said, Yeah, I am. What's going on, man? And he walked towards me. He's like, put his hand out. Thank God, because I'm like, oh my God, how do I know this individual? He's like, dude, I'm a newer agent. I've been listening to your podcast, forever. I love it. And I recognized your voice and your face from across the park. Keep in mind, I was wearing a hoodie and a hat, right? I was not trying to be seen, but he recognized it. And it really had a profound impact on me going like, okay, that is what the definition of a personal brand is, when you have the ability to influence folks and then they have the want, need, or desire to come up and have a conversation with you. And it was profoundly humbling to know that people are really listening to what we put out there. And that goes for all of us in any business that we're in, both real estate, mortgages. You could sell cars. You could be a mortgage broker. You could be whatever you want. Sell, string cheese. I don't give a fuck. But if you're out there building a personal brand, people will relate with you. So I'm really excited about this call today. And you know who you are, who met me in the park. Again, not saying names for your anonymity, but it was a uniquely awesome opportunity. And I was honored and blessed. So, my amigo, I appreciate you. Let's break into this thing really quickly. Nick, now you came up with this idea about talking about personal brands for 2023. And I made Nick and I made Gene both come up with two ideas, and they all kind of coincide together. And I came up with one. So, Nick, break it down for 2023. What are you seeing? Where do you see it going? And how can agents take advantage of this at a low cost, no cost basis?
Well, before I get into that, I just first want to say that I think it's amazing you opened up the show with that story, but that happens to Gene every single day, and he's not even the host of the show.
Oh,
The evil bald ninja gets screamed in parks all over the country when he walks around. Everybody knows who the evil bald ninja is. I think it's amazing. So
You
yes.
think you're lying, right? So we go to these events around here, and I have a good friend. He goes like this to me all the time. He's like, I need to buy stock in Sharpies. And I'm like, why? He's like, everywhere we go, I'm going to just be able to hand you a Sharpie so you can sign boobs and stuff. Like,
Yes.
it does happen a lot from the show. It's kind of funny and it's weird.
But that's an amazing opportunity. We've created personas,
Oh yeah.
Around the show, and people can do this, and no matter what they do, they can build their own personal brand. So Gene's going to be signing boobies. Nick is not going to be taking his shirt off, and I get recognized in, Frisbee golf parks. So
Might be taking my shirt off. I haven't fully committed to not taking the shirt off yet.
Oh, don't you tease me with a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough bullshit banter. Let's get down to some nitty gritty cool shit. Nick, walk us down your first thoughts about doing, YouTube videos and TikToks, how they can coincide together, and kind of building your personal brand on that front.
So the first thing I want to talk about is just how important posting is. So the idea that like it's 2022 and social media is not anything new anymore, and you might have thought that like I missed the boat or I haven't been doing enough and it's too late. Like I literally want you to get all those fears out. I want you to stop thinking that way because it's still just the beginning, very early. Tony Barbarino says Nick will start at OnlyFans. Not sure yet, buddy. Hold on to that thought.
You give a mean foot rub, huh?
Continue to post, because here's what happens. Something psychologically, and even if it's just your database and your sphere of a very small following on, say you have 500 friends on your Facebook page and you're like, this isn't going to do anything. You're not going to become a Mr. Beast and sell a whole bunch of cheeseburgers on your opening launch of a burger restaurant when you had nothing to do with it.
Well, you have to give us some context on that story, by the way.
We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that story. I have another example too. That's not Mr. Beast involved. But what I want you to understand is that when you post things, you automatically get elevated in people's minds. And I don't know what it is psychologically speaking, because we're attached to these devices, even though we still in our mind, like, inherently that anybody can pick up a phone and post a video. The cool thing about it is when you're consistent with it, you gain following in secret. People will follow you without liking anything, without commenting, without anything. And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 months later, you're going to go and run into somebody and they're going to go, man, I love all of your content. I see your stuff all the time. It's great. In their mind, they automatically think of you as like a more professional person because you're just publishing content. So like, yeah, we've talked about this before, like the transition between consumption and creator. So like, can you flip the switch and make the choice for 2023 that you are going to create more content than you are going to consume? Because I promise you, like, that one lever for your business will unlock more growth opportunity than anything else you can possibly do. If you're consuming content 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours per day, but you're only posting content 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours a month, that needs to completely change. Now we can talk about the tactics and where you should post and how you should post and what the emerging trends are and all that stuff. And we'll talk about that on the show. But the general thought process, the flip that needs to switch in your head is to go from consumer to creator.
It's interesting you say that. And Gene, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. And about, I think 2001, 2003, somewhere in that ballpark. Stop yawning, Gene.
I wasn't yawning. I was stretching my face, getting ready to
stretching.
Getting ready to spit fire.
Just really. Drop hammer. So years ago, I decided to start doing like little. This is way before live streaming, way before any of that. And I started just doing like little 3 to 5 minute little videos every single day, talking about God knows what I talked about, but I just shot videos and uploaded them to YouTube. I didn't know about channel tags or video tags or thumbnails or anything, right? But then I Googled myself one day and I took up the
Yeah,
first
you
three
did.
pages. I Googled myself daily, baby. What's you doing? But I came up on the first 3 pages and I just dominated the first 3 pages of Google back then. And so back to the next point, consistency is very important. Gene, what say you on consistency when it comes to doing videos on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that?
What say me is this: go search my name, and aside from those 2 felony charges that you can ignore, I would like. um, no, go search my name. It's a perfect example of the first 2 or 3 pages that have content that's driven there by me doing the right things in the right places organically over a period of time. So people go, "How do I get my videos in there like that?" You got to put your shit on YouTube and Vimeo and your website and all these other things over and over again, right? You got to use the right keywords and metadata and descriptions.
Right.
There's there's ways to do it, but it doesn't cost you any money. It will cost you your time, but the longer you wait, the longer you lose, right? So I think it's important that, look, I always say to people, when you and if you do Google yourself, which I recommend everybody does every 6 months or so. And by the way, do it in private browsing or in incognito mode, right? So that you're getting a true look at what the general public sees, not your best friend and your wife. So you got to check yourself. And if you, again, I invite you to go Google Gene Volpe. And what'll happen is you'll see that on those first 10 spots of, pun intended, real estate on Google's first page, Google's going to tell you what the most important sites are to put your content on, because they're going to be right there. And do you think they're going to be Gene Volpe lives in newtownsquare.com, or do you think you're going to be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, Vimeo, TikTok, Instagram, right? It's going to show you. You're going to see it. Like, people go, why would I ever use Twitter? If you search my name, it's the third thing that shows up. My Twitter profile is the third thing that shows up on Google's website. Google went, this is the third most important thing we see Gene on. Why wouldn't you replicate that?
I just went to DuckDuckGo and I just searched myself, just, since it's like a very third party site. The first thing that popped up was McDaniel Real Estate Systems, Real Estate Uncensored. That was a number one thing. Scrolled down a little bit and I found out that I am also the city mayor of Maryville, Missouri.
Yes.
So, and city manager. So I got 2 roles apparently.
Now we know where your income really comes from.
Right?
Stupid. But it is really interesting to kind of just do that search and kind of, like you said, Gene, so that you're not just kind of doing a circle jerk and you're sitting in an echo chamber about what all your friends and family think about you. It's really what the internet's saying and kind of how you're searchable.
Well, listen, here's the most important part about it. Like, again, I talk about this from a consumer perspective. You might get lucky enough that when people do research on you and they Google you themselves and find the information they want to see, they call you and they go, "Oh, I've been following you on Real Estate Uncensored." What we don't have the benefit of knowing is, if your stuff was online and is not tight, and there is a felony charge in the third spot on Google, right? Or, some lawsuit you were involved in when you were 18, or you shot somebody with a BB gun when you were 12. Like, if that stuff is showing up, these people aren't going to call you and go, "Greg, I was going to call you for my real estate transactions because my brother told me about you, but when I went online, I saw that you shot another kid when you were with a BB gun when you were 13 and went to jail for it. And so I'm not going to use you." Like, you don't have the benefit of seeing that you're bad information or the information that's out there in public. Now, I obviously use a ridiculous example, right?
Of course.
But I do know that that's there for certain people, right? So I'll give you an example. I was in New York City, in Manhattan, a couple years back doing a presentation, and I was talking about personal branding. And I say a couple years back, this might have been 10 years ago. And we were talking about personal branding and the importance of Googling your name and all this other stuff. And I had a lady approach me at the end of it, say to me, "Can you come to my desk? I want to show you something." And I go, "Yeah." And I won't get into details because I don't want people to be able to search, but she Googles her name, and the very first 3 slots are news articles about lawsuits that she was involved in as the defendant, and the plaintiff was fairly well known. And she's
Okay.
like, "Is this a problem?" And I'm like,
Yes.
"The fact that you asked me tells me you already know it's a problem, right? Like,
That's
and
an issue.
the lawsuit was trivial. She was on the back end of a transaction that really had nothing to do with her, but the broker was brought in, and you know what happens when they sue people? They bring everybody in that's attached to it, right? So it wasn't even like if you dug in and read the article, you would see that she wasn't really at fault for anything. And you probably, if you knew her, you'd go, okay, that's cool. I get it. But nobody's going through that due diligence. So they see that and they go, yeah, I'm not calling you. And nobody called her to say, we were going to use you, but we saw this lawsuit. And so now we're not going to use you. That's the problem. So you got to know what other people are seeing about you out there first. And by the way, that is the building block of your business. Like people come to me and go, how should I start a YouTube channel? And I go, let's get rid of the fact that you were sued by 13 college universities first. And then we'll worry about what the content on your YouTube channel is going to be.
Jeez.
You know what I'm
Man.
saying to you?
What kind of people do you work with?
No. I made that up. But,
Okay, my good.
but I mean,
God.
if people are looking for your YouTube channel and they come across something that doesn't put you in the best light, they're not going to get to your YouTube channel. So what difference does it make what the video looks like?
Yeah, good point. Nick, thoughts on that?
I've had some BB gun incidents before in my life.
Oh, haven't we all?
I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
You either shootee or the shooter.
I'll leave it at that.
Anonymity.
So-
All right, leave it alone.
My thing is with all of this is, look, if in 2022, 2023 and beyond, like if the thing that you're worrying about the most on personal brand, if you read this title and you clicked on this show and your first thought process behind personal brand is like, what's my logo going to be? What's my font? What's my slogan? What is my website going to look like? All that stuff is old fashioned thinking, right? Think about what's inherently valuable to people these days. Okay. They want to build relationships with you, right? So nobody cares. And I've said this 100 times. Nobody cares about your IDX website. It is a necessity in some capacity. You can run advertisements to an IDX webpage. You can run very successful campaigns. I do it to get people who are in market that are looking to buy and sell real estate. List of homes for sale. We're coming up on foreclosure season, all that kind of stuff. Like that still works. But if you are the agent who is not going to spend $500 a month to even think about paid advertising, which it's not $500 a month anymore, it's more like $1,500 to $2,500 a month to be effective. If you don't have the cash to put up front, then you got to put in your sweat equity, and that means your personal brand. So the first thing that people are doing when they look you up now is, what does your YouTube channel look like? Do you have a TikTok account? Can I find you on Instagram? It's all about the social first before they ever even think about hitting your IDX website. So don't focus on the same things that every other agent focuses on in your market. When you join your brokerage gave you an IDX website. They gave you all these tools and you got all excited because you think that that's what you need to be successful. Newsflash, if everybody in your office has the same tools as you do, is that an advantage? Yes, some people can wield a hammer better than others, right? But for the most part, you need to differentiate yourself and do the things that other agents aren't doing. And right now, your personal brand and video marketing, YouTube and TikTok are my two right now. Now, Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels are a very, very close runner-up. But for me, for 2023, it's YouTube and YouTube Shorts, TikTok at a high level. And because there's one competitive advantage that you can do right now on TikTok called audience hacking, that I think is probably one of the most valuable things you can start to get ahead of and get on top of. Like if you're not producing a lot of video, this one little nugget will help you produce more video in 2023.
All right, I have to ask, audience hacking. I know we're going to go deeper on that. Give us a little smidgen before I get into our next topic so people stick around and listen to that, because I am personally interested in that.
So this is you guys putting your 2 cents on top of things that are currently in the market that are happening with bigger brands and people that are in bigger positions than you are. It's the definition of, I'm just creating a video for the first time. And we talked about this 5 years ago in form of interviewing a local restaurant person. So the concept behind you going to a local restaurant and building a relationship was, more than likely that restaurant owner was not doing any kind of social media back then. More than likely you could shake hands with that person, show them goodwill, record a video, do basic editing, give it to them, and then they would share it all over their social media because you just gave them something of value. Now your face is in front of their audience, and you could be a brand new realtor with no followers, right? And get in front of potentially one of the best businesses in your city, a really good restaurant, offer them something of value, and now everybody who follows that restaurant is going to see your face. There's been hundreds, if not thousands, of agents who have glommed onto that, have started entire YouTube channels based around that from 5 or 6 years ago when that was really, really popular, and have done very, very well with that one specific thing. You can now do that with what we would call a green screen video on TikTok. And what that is you basically are putting your face on the camera with either an article or a video behind you of current events and topics that are going on, and you can talk over those things. So instead of you just bringing value to your tiny little local market, the biggest switch for TikTok is you have to go really, really broad. If you're following agents who are doing really, really well on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts, if you look at their content, it's very broad because that's what TikTok likes to see. That's what short form video really is. One of the biggest creators is that one guy who doesn't even talk in his videos. He just does reactions. I forget his name. But the reason that's so successful is because he doesn't speak. So he does videos in all the different languages. Right. And so when we start talking in English, our video only goes to English speaking people. So when I talk about broad, like really broad thinking, right? So it's not just about like what is escrow or basic real estate stuff. You have to formulate a much broader audience with those platforms. But the green screen video is like the ultimate hack right now that's super popular. And all you can literally go into TikTok. You can do this with a Stitch or a Duet, or you can do it with a green screen. Figure out what's trending, what's going on, how can you bring that back, reel that into your personal brand or your business, and you can literally pump out even 10 videos a day if you wanted to, if you're really dedicated to it, based on the green screen and talking about what's going on behind you instead of thinking about, oh man, what topic am I going to come up with? You let the platform tell you what's trending, and then you provide that value and get people to associate with you. So you're essentially putting yourself in front of an audience that would never even find your account based on the green screen video action that you just completed.
Yeah, Gary Vee's been doing that a lot more. I was watching him do it, and he really he went deep on it in a good conversation. He's like, I just find this really interesting because he was talking about, well, whatever he talks about, right? He's kind of all over the board in a good way. And I was like, it's interesting to see the shift from the iPhone or Android selfie walking down the street. Then he graduated to the videographer. Now he's shifted over to some of the videos in regards to doing the green screen. I personally, when you look at kind of social or political, posts or something like that, and they can verify what they're saying based upon a post and an article that was written by an established, news outlet, it gives credibility. So for real estate, I'm not saying political or religious or anything like that should you be talking about in your business. But I mean, go to like Inman News or go to Forbes or go to some outlet that you enjoy, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, pick one, find an article, and then put it up behind you and talk about your point of view on this.
Right.
And say, this is what I read. These are my takeaways. Give me your thoughts, because that will bring the engagement. Is that what you're saying, Nick?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if inherently this would be the same thing like social media back, when Facebook first started, I do this. I still do this to this day. The inherent, the fundamental thing that you would do on Facebook is like share an article. Like, so let's say you found something really cool. You wanted to share it with your friend, Greg, right? You would share that with him in a text message and or a DM, or if you wanted more people to see it, you would go, hey, I just read this great article. Look at this. Boom. Post it on your social media page. So instead of being lazy and just posting that, like I just did today with a Mr. Beast video that was a link to YouTube, I said, check out this really cool video. I really liked it. I think you will too. I could have gone to TikTok and found a video version of that and given my 2 cents of why I thought, like in 90 seconds, why do I think this is so impactful? What are my opinions on the reason why I think this was so successful? and how this can relate to your business. I
Mm.
100% should have done that. I did not do it. I was lazy and I just did the post. We're being relatable here. Like most agents will do the same thing. They'll just post the thing and not have their 2 senses like in words and not in video. What I'm saying is, if you feel like you don't know what content to come up with, this audience hacking, like do yourself a favor this afternoon, go on YouTube. There's probably 1,000 videos you can find how to duet, how to stitch, and how to green screen a video. And like those 3 tactics, if you didn't do anything else but did reactionary style videos in 2023, like that would supplement all of your content. You would get more followers in 23 by doing reaction style videos of giving your 2 cents than even trying to think up your own content or your own dances or anything
Good
really
idea.
cool. It's literally, you can just be a person, like develop your personal brand based on what's already going on in the market.
Yeah, I love that. Gene, give me your thoughts on this because I have a couple of questions. I've been writing down some thoughts here, but are you seeing that in your side of the world too?
Yeah, I mean, it's TikTok is taking over. It's the top one right now. So you see these duets. That's what it is, right? These are duets. It's content curation, as we used to call it, and I still call it that.
Yeah.
Is at another level, right? So content curation for me back in the day was like you were talking about. You read an article, you put 300 words on top of it about your thoughts and what you agree. I talked about this morning with a technology strategist. Like it's so simple for you to read. So for me, let's just say, for example, maybe there's an article out there that says TikTok's taken over the world in the United States. And I could go on and read it. And then back in the days before video, you just write up a blog over it and you drop the link in there and tag some people, right? Now, then, 5 years ago, you go, I'm going to do a video response to this article. And then I'm going to include the link in my description. And now it's like I bring the video up or the news article on my TikTok and I do a duet with it and I make reactions and I say shit maybe, or I just laugh and giggle while there's music playing. Like it's a different way of you attaching your persona and your brand to somebody else's already moving car. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all the same shit, right? We talk about this every single year. It's just in different formats. So 2 years ago, it was get your video ad in front of somebody else's video on YouTube so that if they're looking for homes and you're the one advertising your video to Google in your area, it's going to show up there. This is what we're doing. It's just now on TikTok instead of a vertical, right, or horizontal, it's now vertical, right? That's kind of what's going on here. In 2 years,
Is that a sticker of yourself on your phone?
Yes, it is.
Is that a sticker of yourself on your phone
and
a cape?
Yeah, it's my
so hold on. I gotta highlight this.
You've never seen that?
I love that, dude.
You've never seen that?
I have. I just had to. I saw it, so I had to say something. It's like, did you see Dak Prescott? They closed up on his phone, and his home screen on his phone was a picture of his jersey.
Yes.
And people were going crazy, and then it was like, well, yeah, if I was a quarterback of the Cowboys, I'd probably have my face on my phone cover too with my jersey and all that shit.
Listen, what's funny is that I have these things that different things. I bought 100 of those, right? I'm just trying to see. I know I got it in here somewhere. So like, here's my book. So like, if I were to lose this, it would kill me, right? But it's pretty easy to see whose it is.
Yeah.
So when I show up to get it back, and people are like, "Prove it's yours. Open the cover." I put it on all my discs when we go play disc golf. So my phone number's on it with that sticker. So people are like, "That's hilarious, dude. It actually looks like you." I'm like, "I know. That's why I had it made that way."
But that's something that you found levity in marketing, and you're out there. Tony wants you to show it again, by the way. So Nick, Gene, show.
No. He's saying he screwed that. He said, check out my TikTok with the boys on the shelf. He meant the boys on the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The funny thing is when it comes to YouTube ads and stuff like that, personal branding, I was listening to a political show on YouTube that I enjoy because the individual who does it he makes me laugh. And so all of a sudden, the first time I've ever heard this, I'm not going to use the name of the show that he hosts, but he said, "Hey, if you're still watching this show on this channel, before you continue, here you need to learn about my coffee." And I was like, "Oh, you made that hyper local. Like, No, I actually literally listened to almost the entire ad because he said, if you're going to keep watching this show on this channel, or before you continue watching this show, listen to me what I have to say about my coffee brand. So I personally believe, based upon my experience this morning, if you were able to do that in front of your competitors, your other brokerages, I mean, anything, say, look, before you go and watch this next video on Prudential or Coldwell Banker or KW or EXP or fill in the blank, right? All of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, shit, are you talking directly to me? Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna pay attention to this really quickly. One of the things that I've done in the past, and this goes back to the green screen idea, is that for a while I did what they call mornings with McDaniel, and I did it for about a year, and it really wore me out. It was a lot of friggin' work. But what I did is I went to Pinterest and I got like a little cheat sheet or a little breakdown bullet points of different like inspirational things. I'm thinking about bringing that back, but I want to do it on the green screen because then I can put the images behind me, and like Gene and Nick, you were saying, like I can just point to them and walk them visually down what I'm saying. I mean, thoughts and theories on that, because it goes back to our thoughts and theories there first, really quickly about Pinterest.
Pinterest is a sleeping giant. A lot of people that are having success on TikTok right now are doing it in terms of sharing everything over into Pinterest. So that's more tactic stuff, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like
It's
your
more
short form
tactical.
video should be shared on all platforms, and especially with Pinterest because it's a search engine. It's a little bit different. That's a whole nother show. But
Yeah, we'll jump down that another time.
yeah,
We only have 10 more minutes left before
I would focus right now for 2023 on YouTube Shorts specifically, because they're turning on monetization. They're putting a bullseye on TikTok and saying you're not going to steal our thunder that we've had for 20 years with Google. And they're going to put a big push on Shorts this year. So like that's a benefit for you because Shorts are under a minute, so you don't even have to come up with as much content. So I would focus my content primarily on under a minute if possible, on YouTube Shorts, and then obviously TikTok. And then I would definitely use repurpose.io. If you haven't seen that app before, this is not an affiliate of mine. I wish it was, but it's only $25 a month. You sign up with them, you connect all your accounts to it, and it'll automatically redistribute all your content at scale. So you do have to set it up. There is kind of a setup. It's like a Zapier or a Zapier account, but you connect all your accounts, and then boom, like as soon as you post a video to TikTok, you tell it what to do. So you can tell it, hey, all right, no, this TikTok video goes to Instagram, it goes to YouTube Shorts, it goes to Pinterest, it goes to your Google My Business profile. Like you can literally set it all up to where all you have to think about in your mind is I post here one time and it goes everywhere automatically.
Yeah,
Is that
just
is that a desktop app or just phone?
No, it's a desktop. You got to set it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's YouTube,
Repurpose.io.
Instagram,
It's a great app.
Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't even know what the rest of these
And it
are.
removes the watermark too. So
I was
like
gonna
that's a
ask
big
about
thing
that.
for Facebook and Instagram. They don't want the TikTok watermark, so you get bogged down in views. They want natural or user generated
Original
content for
content.
that
Yeah.
platform. Yeah. So it takes care of that. But for $25 a month, it's a no brainer if you're doing any kind of
Shit.
content at all.
Especially if you're really gonna try to blow your stuff up on this. And by the way, there is a free trial here that you guys can sign up, which I'm looking at right now on repurpose.io. That's amazing. I know we only got a few more minutes. We got eight more minutes before we got to shut the show down based upon other schedules. But Twitter. Now, this is a booming buzzword right now. I mean, there are certain people on one side of the aisle, there are other people on the other side of the aisle that like and do not like what's going on with Twitter. Would you guys venture into this pond of uncertainty in regards to getting your brand and name out there using Twitter right now? Gene, let's go with you.
Yeah. Yes. Of course. Look, I'm grown up enough to overlook political views and different things that I don't agree with or agree with based off of the fact that I'm using it for a marketing vehicle, right? Like, obviously I don't, who the hell was I just talking to? Oh, I know who it was. My buddy Bobby G. So I posted, Nick, I don't know if you saw this on LinkedIn. I posted that, the meme of the guy walking with his girlfriend and he's turned around looking,
Oh yeah.
right? Actually, I'll share it. Can I share my screen? I'll
Yeah,
share
of course you can, man. All you have to do is to hit
it.
share.
And I think this is an interesting thing. And I have it up on my feed here because I haven't responded to it yet. I would have put some thought into it because it's going to be public. But if you look here, there we go. This is what we're talking about, right? So I said, anyone else feeling this way, right? So it's like you're walking with Twitter and you're looking back at LinkedIn because Twitter's old news, right? So I said, anybody else feeling this way? And my buddy Bob, runs a marketing agency called Proper out of Baltimore. I grew up with this guy. He says Amazon and Uber ads showing up on the pages of white nationalist accounts should have everyone pulling their Twitter ads and considering closing their accounts immediately. Whether brands like it or not, running ads that show on racist pages is an endorsement or a sign of support, full stop. Now, I agree with that, right? And I think if there's a way, I also think it depends on how big you are out there, right? Like if I posted stuff,
depends on the brand. I'll say depends on the brand.
Depends on the brand, right? There's a lot of let's have it if we say it this way. That comment doesn't encompass 100% of all the people, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's probably a good number of it. And I would say to you that I would want to be aware of where my paid ads were going.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm a person.
That's a good comment.
I mean, look, because I think if I show up, we'll say this. If my ad shows up on a Dallas Cowboy advertisement or page, to me, that's as bad as anything else that could happen in the world because I'm.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
To me, that would be a full stop. Get it out, right? All you Cowboys fans, come see me. 11-1.
He actually means that, by the way.
I do. So no. My point though is that I want that stuff, but because the Dallas Cowboys are on Twitter, I'm not going to use it. Like I'm just. It's again. I told you earlier in the show. It's where I rank third on Google when you search my name, right? So. No, why I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face by not being on that app. Maybe I don't spend all my time on it, or maybe it's an afterthought where I'm just kind of repurpose IOing some of my videos that make it to Twitter, right? But I still want to have a presence there. Yes, that's me.
Well, I mean, anything when it comes to religion, sex, or anything along those lines, abortion, nationalisms, whatever, black, white, mixed, Asian, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. That's my personal thought pattern, right?
100%.
And God bless you. Have your opinion. But sometimes when it comes to business, like you were saying, you have a right to know where your ads are being shown. So if maybe you were a Hispanic gentleman or lady or a black man or a black woman, and you don't want to be seen on a white nationalist, page, that's a legitimate concern.
Sure. Of course it is.
1,000%. If you're gay or if you're straight, you don't want to be seen or may not want to be seen. Let me correct that. Depends on kind of what your preferences are in your business and your lifestyle. You might not want to be seen on different sites, right? It gives the wrong connotation in the way you want to be seen in the world. So be cognitive of where you're going to be doing these ads, the videos, where they're landing, how it's going to be happening, where they're going to be pushed back to, what the content they're going to be receiving, and be number one, be kind and considerate and giving to every human being you come in contact with. I don't give a fuck what their beliefs are. They're still a human being. Still be kind, courteous, professional. Hard stop. That's my belief pattern. And you get to make the decision on where that's going to go. End of story. That's a beautiful thing about being an independent contractor. You can choose this.
I also think too, that what I just read you about Twitter, I think there's just going to be hiccups in the turnover, from Dorsey to Musk, right? Like there's just I don't know that Musk necessarily meant for that to happen. Maybe they changed the setting on the advertisements, or maybe somebody internally is messing with them. Who knows? Like there's a million things that could go on, but I would suspect, it's my opinion, that they'll tighten all that stuff up. I mean, that's not going to be the way it's going to be for the next 4 years. They'll get that together.
Well, it's a wild, wild west right now with Twitter. So dive into the fray if you are brave enough to do it. I'm just watching to see what this shit show happens and where it goes.
Well, it's entertaining, that's for sure.
Oh my God, is it entertaining? I love watching my YouTube videos in the morning about what's going on with Twitter because it cracks me up. Just because I'm like, I just like watching the disaster. What is going to happen next?
I will go on record and say Twitter will be one of the most valuable social media platforms in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
I think it is
And
too. 'Cause
not for social media, but because Elon Musk is going to turn Twitter into a massive decentralized cryptocurrency exchange, and it's going to be a unified place for everybody to do business, social media, get their information.
Mhm.
Very similar to what's going on in China right now and other parts of the country that have one app that does everything.
I agree with you. I mean, he did build PayPal with a couple of his business partners, so it's not
He
like the
is
first time he's ever done this.
100% running the
Well,
play, and people don't see it yet. It's the reason he bought it. For sure,
it makes a
it
lot of
is
sense.
going to be the one app. That's what he's going to build it for.
And he's actually what he's doing, he's ruffling feathers right now, which don't be like Elon if you don't want to. Don't push buttons. Don't push the push the big bear if you don't want to do that. But the thing is like, what if you were slightly controversial in your area? Not saying you say derogatory things, not saying you try to be rude or insensitive to other folks' beliefs and lifestyles, but what if you just said something that you actually thought about every once in a while? I mean, Musk cracks me up. I mean, there was a story I listened to the other day. One of his ex-wives was bitching at him on Twitter, which is ironic, and he's gave that a meme of like, "Arr," like fuck, ugh, I have to listen to this shit.
Yeah,
But
he's a
it was like
character for
you
sure.
can sum all that up. I mean, Johnny Depp and his lawsuit could have been summed up in a couple of memes, and we didn't have to listen to that for fucking 6 months. Um, Takeaways really quickly. Let's go down 2 buckets that you like and you can put into action. And when I say buckets, I mean things that where you can or ideas where people can go out and start creating this content. Gene, let's go with you. 2 ideas. We're at bingo, so we're gonna make this very freaking quick. So let's roll. Hot potato.
Super simple. I mean, this gets redundant, right? We talk about this all the time, and at the end of every year, we do a recap show, and it seems to me that I keep repeating myself. And it's like, create your personal brand like you would build a foundation of a house. It's got to be strong. You got to make sure everything is solid, everything's correct. You don't have old brokerage numbers listed out there because those
Mhm.
old brokers are not going to call you when a lead comes in because you changed from
ABC to
Keller Williams to
AG.
EXP or whatever, right? Or vice versa. So
By the way, very good move. If you're going to make a brokerage move, I encourage that. Yes.
I serve that up on a platter.
Yes, you did.
And then I won't steal Nick's thunder because we talked about this pre-show. Nick's got some ideas, and as far as YouTube and TikTok and Shorts, and I fully endorse and support those ideas. So personal branding, strong foundation. What I've been telling people too is, I think right now, if you're in the real estate space, 85% of you are going to have a fairly quiet next 3 months, right? And I'm not wishing that on everybody. I do think there will be our top 10, 15% that are still crushing it no matter what market it is. But I think that there will be a subset of people who feel the pinch a little bit. So don't just sit idly by. Do these things we've been talking about over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Get better at each one and line it up so that when the spring market comes around, you're not still listening to us talk about this. You're actually have actionable results from it and hopefully some ROI and people in the funnel ready to buy and sell.
You know what? I talked to James Rembrandt, aka the Zillow Killer. If you guys don't know him, go look him up. He and I talk quite a bit, and he's a dear good friend of mine. He says, Greg, I do not deal with people who dabble in real estate. I only deal with practitioners. So you can be sitting on the sidelines, or you can be a practitioner. Now, what does a practitioner means? It means you're actually implementing strategies into your business on a consistent basis to build your wealth, build your legacy, build your income. That's why I hired an individual on this show, if they would like to reveal themselves, to run my YouTube channels and create thumbnails and snippets and video tags, channel tags, because I'm going hard in the paint this year. So, Gene, to your point of view, During these next 3 months, the individual on this show and the other individual on the show, we're all going to work together on this. I haven't actually talked to the other individual on the show. Oh, fuck it. I hired Nick. Okay, motherfuckers. God damn it.
I was going to fix that
fucking
anyway.
hired.
I was going to say one of I can tell you who wasn't hired.
Well, Gene's also done a lot of work for me in the past as well. So I'm gonna see if I can strong arm Gene into coming into the fold with Nick and I, and I'm gonna really go deep on YouTube videos. I think it's a living business card. I think you guys can create content on a ongoing basis just by your living experience in life, different articles on different sites like we talked about, and that's where I'm going to do a lot of my business. I'm also partnering up with Stefan Adika, who does my cold calls with me. We're going to be doing cold calls together. We're going to funnel them back into our YouTube channels. That is where I'm going to live, because when I did it 2 years ago, I didn't think it was going to work. All of a sudden, one of my videos had over 16,000 views, and for me, that's a lot of fucking views on a video about how to, why you should buy in San Francisco, right? I missed out on these leads because I didn't believe it worked. I am now 100% a believer in how it works, because people search shit. They're up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 12 at night. They're off work at noon, eating a sandwich, and they're scrolling through YouTube. They're looking for shit you don't even know about. You can create it. You can be the resource for it. So, Nick, your takeaways. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Then we're going to put some colors on the bow in the show and let you guys go about your day. Nick.
We are in the thick of the creator economy. Tables have turned. Everything is a commodity, and anybody. So like the whole consensus of this show was this video, and you can go to my Facebook page, and I encourage you to go to my Facebook page and watch this video. It's a documentary on the behind the scenes of Mr. Beast, who's the top YouTuber in the world, opening up a cheeseburger restaurant. And so I watched that video, and I knew about this story because it was months and months ago that it actually happened. He set a world record 3 times over for how many cheeseburgers were sold in one day from one location of any restaurant in the history of the United States, world, whatever you want to call it, right? Literally a world record. The guy's not an actor. He's not a musician. He's not an athlete. He is literally a YouTuber, and a YouTuber that opened up a commodity business, which is a cheeseburger restaurant, right? And sold more burgers than anybody else in the history of the world in one day. So when you see something like that, I'm trying to be professional. Gene's laughing. Now we're in multiple Zooms here. Like,
I don't know what's going on. Why
we're in
can't
the
I show my
Matrix.
fucking screen?
But yeah,
you
when you
two.
see something like that, you
God.
go, huh, personal brand really matters. Mr. Beast has a huge following. He put his head down. He focused on one thing. The one thing he focused on was YouTube. So to combat, like what Greg was talking about, he likes to throw in little things here, like asking me about Pinterest and what about this other thing. And I mentioned repurpose.io, where you can go everywhere.
I love that.
Focus
idea.
on one thing, right? So
Mhm.
my one thing right now would be split between two. If you're going to focus on one thing, it'd either be YouTube or TikTok. Focus on one of those two things, and then all of your content goes from there. But don't try to be an expert on Facebook, an expert on LinkedIn, dusting off your Twitter account. Now you got to be a Twitter expert. Like, forget all that shit. The place you need to be for 2023 as a creator, as a video person, is YouTube, with YouTube Shorts specifically, and TikTok. So be the creator, because the commodities are the commodities. Nobody cares. Like, the house is the house. Why are they going to buy from you?
Right.
Tell
Right.
that story. Why are you even excited? Like, why did you get into real estate? What makes you excited about real estate every day? You're not sharing that stuff with your audience. I promise you. The conversations that you have that you get nerdy about real estate, like, don't talk about the escrow and all the shit. Like, why do you love this neighborhood? What makes you excited about this style of house or this kind of pool, or like the stuff that you actually like about real estate will come through when you start talking about it. If you want to bring things back to real estate, talk about what you like. What are the things that you like? I know it's not contract negotiation. So why are you doing 25 videos on contract negotiation? Nobody cares about that, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
it is 100% that way. Stop being boring. Your funnels need to be wider. You need to talk about your community, not about the escrow process. That is fucking boring ass shit. Like, I tune out, fall asleep, and delete people when they send me that shit. I'm like, I know you're trying to be professional. but you're just doing it wrong.
And really,
Okay.
yeah, like I said, the reactionary style videos, the duets, the stitches, or the green screens, is your easiest path to a larger following by far. That is. So pick one thing. Let's say it's TikTok, and then just start doing nothing but reaction videos and or duets and stitches. It's an easy way to create content, and it'll get you a following the fastest.
Okay, there it is. All right, there, guys, please, if you caught this halfway through, go back and watch the whole thing, download it, share this with anybody and everybody you know that needs to do a personal brand, start doing a personal brand, revamp their personal brand for 2022, 2023, and so on and so forth. This is your opportunity. This is blue water hunting, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of folks, they're going to hear this. They ain't going to do a motherfucking thing with it because it's scary to do video or it's scary to give your opinion. Look, you give your opinion every single time you make a decision on where you're going to go eat. So do you go to Wendy's or McDonald's? Do you go to Taco Bell or
Wendy's?
Okay, both. I'm sorry, you guys are both breaking up. I'm sorry. Oh fuck. I don't know what happened to them. I think they just diverted over to Wendy's.
Wait, can I say something real quick before you finish that thought?
Well, you're going to anyway, so yes.
That's a good call. I don't know why I asked. Nick, have you had the new Italian chicken sandwich from Wendy's?
I've seen the commercials. I haven't. I got to tell you, my both of my sons will stop what they're doing and sing every Burger King commercial that's on TV right now. So from a jingle perspective, Burger King is number one because they both love the jingle for Burger King. And we don't eat it. Like I haven't had Burger King in 10 years. I don't even remember the last time I had Burger King.
Right.
We do frequent Wendy's because I do think that's one of the higher quality
Me too.
Fast foods. But yeah.
That's my go-to. Yep.
What the fuck is a stitch?
Yeah, Nasty Natty. Like, let's talk Nasty Natty real quick before we do it. Who Dey, go Bengals, right?
Oh my God.
I would say who dat, go Saints. But I want to come into the fold, but I don't do videos yet. Nasty, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, you have two of the best people right here doing this, talking about it. You want to get in the fold, get the fuck in the fold. Stop tap dancing outside
it's
the
a whole
fucking
other
circle.
hour-long video. Go on YouTube and type in what WTF is a stitch, and you'll find 100 videos.
I'm actually going to do that.
Tactical advice on how to do a stitch video.
Well, thank God I'm hiring two of the best in the business, so I don't have to actually learn this bullshit.
Yeah. There you go.
But I mean, that's a really important thing, guys. If you don't understand or don't know anything that we're talking about, go to YouTube, search it out. People will explain it to you in depth, and then reach out to Nick or Gene for a deep dive in regards to kind of how you can keep moving. Veronica Jones is in the house, guys. The real estate Barbie is crushing it. Is it snitches get stitches? Really? Oh my God. Anyways, we love Veronica. She's amazing. Gene, Nick, we are over bingo by 11
over
minutes
bingo.
here.
Someone's yelling at me right now. I'm supposed to be on another call.
I know.
Oh,
Nick,
boy.
color on the bow on the show, quick.
I'm going turquoise.
Why do you have to give me something hard to spell? Okay.
Turquoise Assis. That's how you spell it.
Turquoise. I'm not going to do that.
Turquoise.
All right, Gene, color on the bow on the show. Let's rock and roll. Black?
Yeah.
See, Nick, why can't you give me something easy to write
Yeah,
down?
Nick.
You know that.
You can't read more like
Mr.
me.
Beast's logo is turquoise, I think, and Gene's background is turquoise. The first thing I saw. That's what hit me.
Which, by the way, my nieces and nephew watch his videos.
I do too, dude. You ever watch them? I've
watch
picked them up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're astonishingly good.
Pretty
I'm not
good.
going to lie.
We might have to do a V2 of this show because I do a whole show about Deion Sanders and what's going on.
Yes, we need to bring that up. We should definitely talk about him next.
Yeah.
Next
You
go
know
around.
what? I'm going to reach out to Mr. Beast and see if he'll come on the show and talk to us about how he built his channel.
He is doing a podcast run. It's a possibility.
Yeah, why not?
Realizes
Dude? Ask the
content,
question.
everything.
All right, Nick, you're going to get yelled at like a redheaded stepchild, so
Yeah.
we're going to let you rock and roll. Here it is. If you have to bow out, I completely understand. Guys, colors on the bow on the show. Nick has chosen turquoise, and he's gone. So there we go. Gene has picked a very easy color for me, black. So we have turquoise and black on the bow on the show. We love you to pieces. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We cannot do this without you. Please DM either me, Gene, or Nick any questions, thoughts, theories, or concerns on any content you have there. Please mention us in any post that you have. It helps the algorithm and it'll get in front of more people. Gene, you look incredibly bald today. very handsomely stunning man with great intelligence in your brain. Love you to
Oh, no.
pieces. See, got to build you up. Got to build you up.
I like it. I like where you went with it.
Stick by real quick. I want to talk to you. But for the rest of you guys, peace out, ninjas. We gone. We'll see you on the next one.